What's up, YouTube subscribers? This is your girl, Pastor T, and I have a visitor with me today.
What's up? What's up? This is Bishop Harden, visiting with Pastor T on her wonderful YouTube page.
Yes, so we've been doing the characteristics of a godly woman, women in the Bible, rather. So I decided to kind of take a pause for the cause. I get a lot of questions about, what are deal breakers? What are some things, as a single woman, I should step back and do, or as a married woman, when are there some deal breakers in my marriage? And so me and Bishop were talking, and I decided to just kind of have him come on with me on this YouTube page to just kind of give a man's perspective, as well as I'm gonna give a perspective. We're not gonna really deal with deal breakers, but I'm gonna deal with more of red flags. What are some red flags when it comes to being single, and what are some red flags to look for when it becomes in your marriage? So we're gonna kind of deal with that today. So I got my ride or die. If you don't know us, we are the pastors of New Destiny Fellowship Church in Cold Spring, Texas.
Change the world.
Yes, changing our mind to change the world. So we thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe and like this page, my YouTube page. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So Bishop, let's talk.
I want to kind of just share some things because we did kind of discuss this, not in great detail, but we talked about it enough to realize that, the importance of addressing these things, but realizing why do I need to watch for red flags. I think we are in an era and a time to where, Mom used to say, if we don't stand for something, we'll fall for anything.
Yes.
And listen, I think we got two things going on. We got some people who are just going for whatever and just hanging in there even though they're not happy. Or you got people who are ready to run at the drop of a hat. I think red flags is that good in between, that I'm not ready to just deal with anything, and I'm also not ready to just run. I'm ready to put the work in. And so before you get married, there may be some red flag indicators that pop up. I mean, why are you married? Me and my wife have been married 19 years.
This
year. And this year will be 19 years.
Yeah,
December.
this year, December will be 19.
And we've had some red flags pop up. And we want to tell you that if you're married, if you see these red flags, it's time to put some work in. If you're dating, you see these red flags, it's time to put some work in. And listen.
And even if you're single, I love my girl, Carla Arcane, and she has an amazing book out there that I purchased called, I haven't read it yet, gonna read it, but it's called Single and Successful. It's not to knock down the single people, but it's to let you know that, hey, you can be single and successful, but at the same time, you wanna make sure that you know the red flags when it comes down to dating and relationships. And even though we've been married for 19 years, I wanna even go back to some things that I required before getting married to Bishop that was some red flags for us. So we want to definitely deal with that too as well, singles and marriages.
So throw one more thing out there. So if you're married and you see these red flags, stop. May need some counseling, may just need a conversation. It's up to you.
Yes.
Everything don't need counseling. Sometimes conversation will fix it, but if it's bad enough, counseling may be the answer. If you're dating, it's good to stop and just have some good, strong conversation. And listen, if it's really important to you, and then you say, this is too important to me, I cannot compromise this, well, a red flag may turn into a stop sign. So, or even a U-turn sign. But hey, we want to make sure that you're in it to win it. And so here we go with Pastor Tonya's red flags.
All right, so here we go. Red flags. Again, we're going to give two different perspectives. You're going to get my perspective and, of course, my sexy husband's perspective when it comes to singles. So one of the things...
I'm sexy.
Yeah, you sexy.
That's not a red flag.
That's not... Anywho, so one of the things, the number one thing when I can go back to being single, I remember that the number one thing that was a red flag for me was that if you did not know God as your Lord and Savior, if you didn't believe that He died on the cross and rose again, because everybody has different beliefs. You have what are they called? Jehovah Witnesses. You have all these different beliefs. So I needed someone that believed, but not only that, I needed you to go to church more than once a month. I needed you to go a little bit more than that. So I believe for a single woman that a red flag should be, okay, if you don't have a relationship with God, that means that you're not gonna love me the way God loves the church. Amen.
Amen.
You're not gonna love me the way God loved the church. So I think that should be a red flag from the beginning, that do you have a relationship? Not just go to church, but do you have a relationship with God for yourself? That should be any woman's red flag for single women to have a relationship.
So now, am I giving red flags for women, or am I giving red flags for men?
Men. I want you to give it for men.
Okay, so if there's a brother watching this video and you have came across the video, red flag. And listen, this is not a stopper. This is like, hey, it's time to slow down and try to figure some things out. For me, it was always alarming for me to find a woman who found so much value in makeup and so much value in weave and hair, wigs, especially in the generation. I know ladies, they find their beauty in that. And women, I don't knock you. And listen, as long as those things don't make you. That's my only concern. I'm really concerned when I see a lady when she has some makeup on and she's looking at herself, and whenever she don't have it on, she don't feel like a woman. When she have her hair wigs or weave it on, but when she don't have it, she don't feel like a woman.
Yeah.
I believe that that's kind of a red flag. Kind of slow down and listen. It may not be for her, maybe for you. That you need to invest in her and let her know that she's more valuable than her hair. When I first met my wife, it was a red flag for me. She wore weave all the time and she wore makeup all the time, and I want to let her know, you're beautiful without that. And she found her inner beauty, even though she already knew it. And I just thought, guys, if you are dating a lady who's like that, invest in her. Let her know how valuable she is without those things.
Now, ain't nothing wrong with weave. Let's make that clear. Ain't nothing wrong with weave, Bishop. I'm gonna say this to the women. There's nothing wrong with weave, but when weave and makeup makes you who you are, I agree with you. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
That should
and
be a
that's
red
my biggest
flag.
concern.
Okay.
Preferably, I'd rather my wife natural. But listen, there's some ladies who can rock some weaves and ladies rock it. But just be willing to rock your own style too every now and then. Believe me, women. Believe me. Tell you, a brother love a confident woman who's confident in herself. So hey, this is a little bit of an insider.
Yeah. So that was your one, right?
That's my one.
So the second thing I would say that was a red flag for me in my experience was the fact of disrespect. If you are a guy that called me out my name, that called me the B word, is like, ooh, that's fighting. Saved, filled with the Holy Ghost and all that. That's fighting for me. Or you to downgrade me and just disrespect me with your mouth is like a big red flag. If you gonna call me, hey yo, come here, let me holler at you, little mama. Like, no, I need you to respect me enough. I know that they probably still don't do that now, but I just think some things you're just not allowed to call me. I believe that should be a red flag. If he disrespects you, that means that he'll disrespect his mama. He would disrespect your children. He would disrespect everything that's lined up to you. Any man that disrespects a woman by calling her out of her name and by degrading her with his words and saying that she's nothing and she's a slut and she's a thot, red flag.
Yeah.
That's my number 2.
My number 2 would be red flag for guys who's dating a young lady who finds her value in you. If she looks at you and she worships you and it's all about you, she's willing to change everything about herself from you.
Okay.
That's a red flag for me because
I like
she's not comfortable with who she is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the rhythm here, ladies. As I'm dating and I'm looking for some things, guys, I want you to realize this as well. You want that woman to be able to stand on her own feet. You don't want the woman to find everything value in you. You need men. You need a woman who can help you out. And if she's finding all her value in you, you're going to end up alone. Even though you're in a room with a person, you're going to feel as though you're by yourself because it's all about you. So that's a red flag for me.
So in other words, if she put that man on a pedestal and that he's her king, he's her Lord, and that
Yeah, one of the most sexiest things my wife told me one time, but it's also one of the most scariest things. She said, flat out, dude, I don't need you. I love you, but hey, I can live without you. And she was firm on that in the beginning. And even though it was kind of like hey, it also was a attractive thing. Like, you know what, she can't stand on her own without me.
Well, I want to say this because I don't want you to just be walking up to no man and saying, I don't need you. Because at the end of the day, the Bible says that God created male and female, and that he gave Adam.
She said that after we got married.
Yeah. I want it to be known, but you want to be able to stand on your own. At the end of the day, I love Bishop. I don't want to do this without him, but I tell him all the time, pastor or not, I done came into your little message. But anyway, pastor or not, hey, I can do this with or without you. But I would rather do it with you.
And listen, you don't have to say it. You don't have to go to him and say, hey,
right. Okay.
I don't need you. What you do, you just make sure you have your own goals.
Yeah.
You have your own ambitions, you have your own drive, and so your goals should complement his goals.
Right.
I hated when I first got married to my wife that everywhere we went, she was following me in the military. But as soon as we got settled, she started venturing out to the things that she wanted to do. So listen, whatever you have in you is valuable. So your goal is to compliment his goal. So in dating, we're not in marriage yet, but in dating, guys, red flag if it's all about you and she could literally just forget about herself altogether. That's a red flag.
I like it. All right, my third red flag. Third red flag for me was when I was single, and I believe should be for a single one. I know there's a whole bunch of red flags, but we're just dealing with 3. A red flag should be, when my husband and I got together, I started going to church and was saved and living for the Lord. And I wanted a man that would respect me enough to respect the fact that I was celibate, that I did not want to give up the goods. And I didn't want a man that was trying to force me to have sex with him. I believe that should be a red flag. Like I said before, God, knowing God, disrespect. And number 3, red flag, if you can't respect me enough to not want to sleep with me and you go around and you sleep with everybody else because I'm not sleeping with you, that's a red flag. I believe you should love a woman enough to wait until you get married. I know everybody not waiting, but it would be a great thing that if that's something I require, I need you to respect that I want to wait. Red flag. Last one.
Red flag number 3 for me, guys, if she wants to fight all the time. It seems as though that, every time she's want to fight over the smallest things. She may have some anxiety of concerns of people been hurting her in the past, and she's trying to pick a fight with you to see if you're going to hang around. You may need to say, hey, calm down. I'm not going anywhere. Don't keep picking fights with me to try to see if I'm going to leave. Stop trying to pick fights with me to see if I'm going to hit you back. I'm not that guy. Hey, we can talk about it. We don't have to fight just because you feel as though I'm going to do you the same way. Kind of be watchful for those things. It's a huge red flag for me if all the time. You're going to argue. You're going to have disagreements. That's part of life, part of nature. You learn as you mature how to argue more healthy. But if you're first dating, everything is a fight. Believe me, guys, she don't hate you. She's trying to figure out if you're going to treat her like the last guy. Red flag. Slow down. Calm her down.
That's good. So those are red flags for singles, and if you want more or whatever, hey, comment below and we can give you more. But let's go to marriages real quick. We're gonna try to make this at least 15-20 minute video.
Yeah, really fast. And listen, key thing, because once again, like I said before, whenever you marry, you tend to start either doing one or 2 things, just belling for just a little bit of thing, or hanging in there with the worst stuff. We're trying to teach you what are those markers that say, hey, this may be time to sit down and have a conversation. Or if we can't talk, we may need some counseling.
Yeah, and I think we realized over the years, we used to always say that divorce is not an option, but we found out that sometimes divorce is an option for some people. But we realized this too, is that most people don't want to put in a fight. Now, if I shared with someone the other day, if he's not abusing you and not hitting you upside the head and not choking you or, degrading you, and he's just getting on your nerves, you can handle it.
Yeah. You
can still put up with that. Everybody's different. But I would say for me, a red flag for me, number 1 is infidelity. Like that's like, people say 19 years, can't no man be with one woman. This is the only man I've slept with for 19 years. I believe I'm the only woman he slept with for 19 years. So for 19 years, I believe that it could happen. And we don't know what's gonna happen years after this. Not saying that we bragging and we made it. I'm not saying that. But I just believe that infidelity would be a red flag for me. That we're gonna have to really go get some counseling. We really gonna have to talk, because I wanna know, what have I done to make you step out on me? Or what have you done to make me step out on you? And we just really gotta talk. That's like a red flag for me. Infidelity. It's like, I don't know. I don't like to share. So I don't want to share my husband with nobody.
Yep. And don't just take it. If you, for the fact that you're a victim of infidelity, you need to stop. You need to stop and talk about it. If nothing else, because it may bring in some type of venereal disease, and you don't want that. But
and spiritual. Let's talk about, and it's spiritual. Spirit. And we ain't gonna get that deep, but spirits are real, and when
all kind of stuff.
Don't nobody have time for that.
A red flag for me, I think I'm gonna do a double decker. Number 1, it'll be one for the guys, but also for the women. I think, it's a red flag for me and women. You should really think about this. If you continue telling your family our business, that's huge for me. That's a huge red flag for me.
Yes, sir.
And guys, this may be something you may felt it, but you do know how to communicate. So I'm happy you communicate it. taking our problems, taking our issues, taking our financial concerns. Listen, what happens in the Harden house, stay in the Harden house. And the only way it comes out is with the okay of one another. We built up in our relationship this. We are only allowed to take things out of our house to other people with people we've agreed upon that we can take out of our house.
And that's probably one person. That's our spiritual parents, Bishop and Lady Woodard. That's it.
Some of y'all, you may say, I have one homegirl that I can talk to that you trust. Yeah. And you may say you got one homeboy that you trust. And I prefer that to be maybe if you can, if you're married, it need to be two people who are already married, who they have to share together amongst themselves. So people who you may even look up to. Try to have people you look up to, people you mentors. If better yet, a pastor, a first lady, somebody who you can trust, but don't take my business to the streets. I don't care how bad I am. If I'm that bad, maybe consider leaving me, but don't take my business to the streets. That's my red flag.
That's your red flag. A number 2 red flag to me.
This is married people.
This is for married people. A red flag for me. And when we say red flag for marriages, it means we need you to sit down and communicate, go through counseling, something to that nature. So a number 2 red flag for me would be red words. Again, I'm very, very, I just think if you married me and I'm your wife, there should be some words that you don't use. Words like, and this may be crazy to some, but to tell me to shut up, or to tell me you busted and disgust, like words you don't even use on your mama and you use on me. Red words. Red word, you stupid. Ooh, those are red words. I just believe that we should love each other enough to not use, and we talk about that in our book, Marriage Survival Guide. Red words is like a red flag for me. Like it makes me say, hold up, wait a minute. We need to go sit down. If we are continuing to talk to each other like this, let's go sit down with somebody, because this is like a.
I'm gonna tell you this, ladies. My wife, I've never told my wife I hate her. I never told my wife go to HE double hockey stick. I never told my wife that F you. And listen, it's not because I probably couldn't have said them. She had a standard. She literally, I look back now as she was talking, I've never used those words with her, not because she didn't say, not because, I just was such a good person. No, she let it be known clearly. If I use the word shut up to her, I just cussed her out, so I never tried to go.
Sometimes now, we did have some moments. Sometimes we did because we were trying to hurt deep, and we talk about that in our book as well. Like, we would say different things.
But some words
to hurt
I never said to you.
No.
The things I said deep to you, I knew was going to hurt you, but not things I thought was going to
No, you ain't never cussed me out. You never do that.
I never have. I cussed around her. I never cussed at her.
Come on, Bishop.
But listen, my next red flag would be, I think I keep giving back and forth, so I'm not just sticking with one gender, but if I'm a male, I'm kind of just dealing with this. Guys, it's a red flag to me if she's always on the phone, but yet she's sharing everything with other people, but not you. Now, she's not talking about you, but she's sharing all her stuff with everyone else.
All of her visions, all of her dreams,
That's two-way dangerous. Number one, it may be dangerous for you because you make it uncomfortable for her to talk to you, or maybe she finds too much comfort in everyone else, and where she don't even try to come talk to you. So either way, whether it's your fault because you don't make it easy to her, or if it's her fault because she hasn't even given you a chance, you still need to stop and talk about it. One of the most degrading thing for me would be for her to share all her dreams and visions with her best friends, with her family, and I come home and it's like, hey baby, how you doing? I'm like, dude, you're just on the phone sharing all your business, spilling your guts. I'm here, what's going on? You won't even care about it. And I checked myself because I was the problem. I wasn't easy to talk to. So red flag for me, if she's talking on the phone all the time, sharing her business, dreams and visions, and I'm not involved in those conversations.
My last red flag for marriages would be, what's the last red flag for marriages?
I got one for you.
What?
You don't want to know.
Last red flag for marriages is being my friend. Like, when you're no longer, I look at it like this, and we talk about this in our book as well, is that when you're not communicating with me, like he said, I guess that is my third one, is communication, because if you're not communicating with me, then you're communicating with somebody else. So my red flag is let's always be friends. I know we're married. I know you have other friends. I have other friends. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that we're always not just talking about church. Come on, pastor wives. Not just talking about the children. But when we go out to eat and we have date night, let's just talk about us. Like, I don't want to lose the spontaneous part of who we are and why we got together. So I think communication, being my friend,
Yep.
that'll be my third thing. Like, let's stay friends. Let's not, like, we use this thing now, we laugh about it, but I'm like, you're not my friend today. But I want to be your friend. So let's stay friends by sharing our visions, our dreams, and all that great stuff together.
Single people, listen, remember this here, that marriage is an awesome thing. Slow down, date. You know, I know we're quick right now to just go through all these social media pages and all these different dating pages, but date, get to know each other, fall in love. Don't be in a rush to get married. Slow down, embrace one another, and remember that love is the most beautiful thing God has given us. Don't rush it.
And not only that, and if you're single, man, make sure that you're single and you're doing what God, like I said earlier with Carla, be single and be successful. So when a man that do find you, when your Joshua, not Jacob, when your Joshua finds you, he finds you working.
Yep.
To where you're able to contribute to the marriage. But even if you don't, it's okay. It's no big deal.
Yep.
You just got to make sure that you're ready for the fullness of marriage. Because marriage, anybody that's married could probably tell you, I really wish I was still single. But anybody that's single would tell you, I wish I was married. So ain't nobody ever happy.
I love
At the end of the day.
It's work though, I ain't gonna lie.
It's work.
Hardest thing I've ever done in my life besides pastoring, but it's the beautifulest thing I've ever done in my life.
Last words for married people.
Married people,
Yes, sir.
fight for it. Stop laying down. Whoever told you it's gonna be easy? I don't know who lied to you.
Right.
Fight for it. Marriage it's said when two people become one. That means there's a surgical procedure happening.
Right.
And so if this surgical procedure, that means some cutting gotta go on, and some sewing and some stitching gotta go on. So if you ain't ready to be cut, why you got married? And so some of the hardest things is gonna rip you from who you used to be, but sew you to who you can become with your mate.
That's good.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Bishop,
Love you.
for rocking out with us.
All right, God
We
bless.
appreciate you guys so much. Thank y'all for watching. We're getting ready for our marriage survival, our marriage retreat that's going to be going on. I'm going to give you more details about that. If you enjoyed this, I promise you will enjoy our marriage retreat that's coming up in February the 13th through the 16th. More details to come about that. Until next time, I love you guys so much. I hope y'all enjoy Bishop. Y'all pray for Bishop. He tells the truth. That's why I love him. All right, love you guys. Stay blessed in all that you do.